Hello and welcome to the May 15th developer meeting for Helm. This is a CNCF project and it follows the CNCF guidelines of code of conduct. It is recorded. If you don't like being recorded, fall off camera or leave the call and you can watch the recording later. And let's get started. All right. First item, Jesse Simpson. Jesse, are you here?
Yep, that's me.
Oh, there you are. Looking.
Sorry, Robert, there was an announcement that I didn't write down.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, you were late.
Well, no, I just didn't write it down.
Jesse, if you could hold on for a fat minute. Yep. Matt and I were texting back and forth about this last night. There is I could actually speak to it real quick. Helm v3 18.0 RC2 is out. We forgot a PR. We got it in there. So if anyone can, please give it a good test, give it a good work through. And then next Monday, I will cut the release for 3.18.0. Any questions, comments, or concerns, or can we move on, Mr. Rigby? All right. Jesse, the floor is yours.
Sounds good. Thank you. So do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
By all means, please do.
All right. So as I've been working on this pull request, and it's to introduce multi-line stack traces instead of this kind of one-line blob. And one of the things that Scott and I found is that when we enable the --debug flag, we actually get the error message printed from standard error, and we also get a debug log line with this error. And it looks a little bit better if I go into this. And so what I kind of want to get at is what is the value of this debug log line that kind of duplicates the same error message. And the reason why I want to come to a solution on that is because in my pull request, I'm trying to make these error messages pretty, but in the process of doing that, I'm making this debug log line a little bit ugly. So if this debug log line is intended to be read by some sort of other program, then maybe it will already render these \n's or quotation marks. But if it's not, and it's just supposed to be read by a human, then maybe I should strip out some of these white space indicators.
You could always use the human-friendly data serialization language. Just saying. Anyway, I was kind of kidding.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's called YAML.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, though, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but this is otherwise unrelated and otherwise already works this way, and it's just kind of weird that it does. And I think probably the question to folks is, like, sure, for this is not going to change in Helm 3. For Helm 4, do we want the debug message to effectively just reproduce the error that's already printed on screen when you add --debug? Because that's what it does now. And that seems odd to me.
Yeah, debug should be giving you a little deeper insights to what we're doing, not necessarily an error function. So I think going forward, my take is to change the functionality and not have errors listing as debug, because you're hitting it twice versus doing one where I say debug is I want to know what values are about to be passed into what step of Helm, and I can debug if something's not working. So that's how I conceptualize it. But George, Andrew, do you have opinions as well?
Pretty much the same. If it's not presenting additional information, then just remove it.
Same.
Okay.
Okay, well, that makes things easy on my end.
Awesome. All right, and that's the so. So thank you, Jesse. Next is Scott. The floor is yours, sir.
Great, yeah. Well, so this is about the HIP to extend Helm's core functionality, more of Helm's core functionality with additional plugin types than the ones that we have today. And uh, given that we would be implementing this for Helm 4 and we have options now, specifically WASM for secure plugin sandboxing, that is the proposed implementation. It's gone through the ringer with a lot of people. Uh, the the HIP originally was wider in scope,
Mhm.
allowing also including the ability for charts to define plugins that would then be downloaded. Uh, that idea has not been given up on. It's just been moved to a separate follow-up HIP, which may or may not be implementable or satisfactory, but that's something that we could follow up on in that separate HIP itself. This is purely just to actually extend new plugin types other than the only one that we actually have as a type today, which is the download plugin. We also have
Mhm.
other concepts that could be plugins in Helm, but we don't call them plugins. We just call them other things, like um, like like the post renderer, for example. And dun 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 dun. Um, Apologies, give me 1 second here because I've just have been thinking about too many other things. And oh, and also CLI, like plugins aren't really a type. That's just the generic plugin, but it could be a type and probably should be. And the idea is that we would extend other plugin types as users have, once we have the system in place, as users have more requests to modify things, which already the issues and pull requests list kind of flooded with those possibilities. Um, those could then be implemented on a per piece of functionality basis once this is in place. Anyway, the HIP is set up just for this. The actual technology has been um, reviewed by Matt Butcher, and other people within the WASM community. I mentioned Matt just because he's also a Helm org maintainer, and I'm asking if he can like publicly review. He's just been so busy. But anyway, I would like, if possible, for maintainers to just give this one once over, please, and say if there's any reason why a few things have come up, like Matt Farina added a few things. I think those have all been addressed. Um, Joe mentioned, or a few different people mentioned different things, I think, publicly on the issue. Ingi made a suggestion, which we ultimately took. And we've had other very heavy SDK, Helm SDK users review it, and their contentions or problems were all addressed in this HIP either by removing those things from this HIP and moving them into separate follow-up ones, like the Helm charts, the chart defined plugins, or by actually addressing them in a satisfactory way to them. And so we just need to actually implement this, and it is still doable because we've already done work on this for the proofs of concept. It's still doable in time for the Helm 4 pre-release date. Right now, George and I are very motivated, and several other people have said that they're very interested once implementation starts, including Andy. Um, but until we actually get the HIP approved, any like actual implementation is futile. So we would I would really like to know if this is going to be vetoed for some reason. I definitely would like it to not be filibustered. So because a lot of people could benefit from it.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Anyone else comments to this? All right.
I guess my only comment, probably because of who's on the call, is I think question is, would you have 10 minutes to review this, Robert? Because you're the only other Helm maintainer so far on the call that has not. Or, yeah.
Yeah, it's I have it open. I can get it sometime this afternoon.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. Ingy, you have a pull request. Is that you?
Well, I got
Next.
3 things. One is about a pull request, yes.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
enough.
Ingy, you got 3 things. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks. So Go YAML updates. We had a meeting, our first meeting of the new Go YAML team that included Scott and Evans were on the call, and Stefan from the Flux team, and an old friend of mine, Carlos, who authored the PR that I'll talk about in 2 more topics. Anyway, it was good. I came across the realization that that I hadn't had before, that so I said last week that we're going ahead of forward where we're making a new repo where Gustavo left off and carrying that forward, hopefully getting his endorsement, but it doesn't quite matter. We've already got the Kubernetes SIGs YAML module, which embeds all of the code of 2 different branches of Gustavo's Go YAML in it. We ported all the features, or DIMS from that team ported all the features into Go YAML, so it's ready to be used as a dependency once we do a few administrivia things, like get a vanity domain set up for it and that thing. But hopefully within the next few weeks, that thing will use it. But then Stefan pointed out that's going to change the whole Kubernetes world, because everything depends on the Kubernetes SIGs, and it's going to affect the transient dependencies of almost everything, including Helm. So, maybe I'll that's not going to happen in the next week. So, but I should bring it up again when Matt is here and see if he has concerns. I don't think, Scott, do you think it will? Yeah, we should bring it up with Matt.
What do I think? What?
Oh, does Helm have to worry about? I mean, it will change the transient dependencies for Helm, right? When the Kubernetes 6 depends on this.
Ultimately, yes.
Yeah.
For two things. We would depend. We would depend on it directly, and the indirect dependencies too.
Right. Yeah, I was talking that. I mean,
and those would be good. And those would be good things.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I just it just seems it has the chance of having some unexpected side effects. So anyway, I think everybody should be at least in the know. The second thing is, this is small, but I was circling back to a WASM.io talk where a guy gave a Java working in WASM thing, but it was only Hello World, and my testing showed that it wasn't ready for prime time. But then somebody else posted something that I noticed yesterday that I'm going to play around a little. I'm not saying that YAML script, the framework, will work under WASM. I still think that's going to be a while, but I think that you could take any YAML script thing and compile it to WASM. I don't know if it's useful or not. Anyway, progress in that scene. And then the last thing was a guy joined the Go YAML channel named Carlos Lima. And I've known Carlos for probably 15 years. We used to pair programs together years ago, like every day for like a spell. And then he noticed this channel and joined the Go YAML channel and said hi. And then we actually talked. So I said, it was an old friend that I met 2 days ago, because I saw him. And we actually talked. We never talked back in the day. We just did everything over IRC and in a shared screen session or something like that. But anyway, he has a pull request. So we got talking about everything under the sun, and he said he had a Helm pull request, which is this one, and it's been open for a year. And like everybody, I think on this team has commented it at some point. Anyway, I think George is the last one to comment and said he was going to carry that forward. But Carlos will be here. I invited him to the meeting. He couldn't show up today, and he'll show up next week. And you can meet Carlos. He's awesome. I'm done, Robert.
Okay, thank you.
I can I can review this, and we've talked about this PR in past Helm dev meetings.
Yep.
And we said at least for Helm 4, there's no reason why we would, why anyone knows of why we would not want to do this, and everyone is in favor of allowing hooks to be post-rendered as well. But for Helm 3, it's not 100% clear whether or not it could have unexpected consequences. Maybe it wouldn't, but I still am curious. So maybe I could be convinced otherwise.
The good news is I didn't know we'd had those discussions, but I basically said the same thing. Just make it the default. So the PR has been updated to do this, and there's just a few probably nitpicks to sort out for you. Which I actually had a comment pending Ingy. I just hadn't submitted it yet, so I submitted that, and I just got just looking at one more thing.
So does this mean Helmwise could be used for, because somebody actually was in Salt Lake, I was talking to somebody and they're like, were asking me if I knew if hooks could be, I assume that if hooks can now work as in post rendering, then Helmwise could have be applied there on hooks as well. We can talk about it later.
The answer is yes. If this is implemented, then it could be implemented by any post renderer, or it could be post rendered by any tool.
Great, that's awesome. That one dude will be happy, maybe, or not. Who knows?
A lot of people will, because it's come up a lot.
Yeah. Rand.
I believe that is all. I don't see anything else. Scott's pushed his HIP review into discussions, so no shout outs, no social media applications. So just to be respectful of everyone's time, if no one has anything else, let's do the assignments for next call. Moderator, I don't mind doing it again if y'all want me to. I'm here. Anyone else? I'm not trying to steal thunders.
I haven't
promise
done
to
it
be
for a
as
while.
excited
So.
as. Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right.
I'm just one sec. I think I believe I could do it. If
George, Scott,
another person doesn't want to.
I think we may have to flip a coin at this point. I'm saying
I'm famous enough. I got my own T-shirt, so I don't need to do it.
I don't think any of us need to. Yeah, I can do it next week.
Right.
All right, I'll put your name in there.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take notes, George, so you don't feel left out.
That can be nice.
Okay.
All right. Issue triage. Who wants to do it?
I've been doing it on and off, so I can continue that. There's a bit of a backlog at the moment, but getting there.
Evans is always in there, so I feel comfortable like putting him there because he's constantly doing that. PR, I'm in. Do I got anybody else?
I've also been reviewing PRs.
So PR review, yeah, put me down as well.
Okay. And core maintainers for next week. I can speak for my happy butt. Anybody else?
I will not be here. I have a company conference next week.
Oh, really? What?
It's Red Hat Summit.
Are you literally going to take that over us? I'm hurt.
Yeah, I gotta get paid somehow.
I'll miss you. Okay. All right. Well, if no one has anything else, we will adjourn early. Thank
I
you
have
all.
one thing, Robert.
Oh, whoa.
Why are
sorry.
you so happy today? You're just,
I'm happy every day.
you're in a mood, man. You're in a good mood. You can tell me later. All right.
Okay.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you all.